So hello everyone, and welcome, warm welcome. And there's all these warm good mornings and hellos on the chat, and I appreciate them all as a large network of warmth, greeting, goodwill that we're participating in here, whether you're on the chat or not. So thank you. So imagine that there's a door that is a glass door, and that glass door has never been cleaned. And you don't really know what's on the other side, but because it's so dirty you can't see. And then it occurs to you to wash it. You clean the door. And all the dirt's on the inside where you are. And lo and behold, you can see out. And there's a beautiful natural setting. So, wow, that's pretty cool. And then it occurs to you to open that door. And all you do is open it. Big door, you open it wide. And now you stand gazing upon that natural setting. And in a way, it's easy to forget that the door is open. The door is clean, there's a clear view, because the natural setting is so beautiful, so interesting, and you've never seen it before. But what is then the evening comes, and you look out the door and you see the sunset, and wow, I've never seen a sunset like that. And then you go there late in the evening when it's dark, and you look out, and it's spectacular to look out that open door and see the night sky and the stars. And then you're there early in the morning, dawn, and you see little birds and little animals coming out. And it's so special. You didn't know. It's wonderful to have a clean and now even an open door. At some point it dawns on you how special it is to have a clean door, how special it is to have an open door. The openness of the door is special. The openness of the door certainly allows you to go in and out, but allows you to see unobstructedly. So when we do mindfulness practice, in part, it's a cleaning of the glass, so we can see clearly. But it becomes more than just cleaning it. At some point, it becomes opening the door, opening wide. And not only being amazed or not of what you see through the open door, but to be appreciating that the door is open. The open door doesn't need to be open or closed. The door doesn't need to be open and closed. The space that's the open door is not ruffled, concerned, contracted, repulsed by anything that's seen through the open door. And so the same way, when we can let go of our clinging, let go of needing something to happen, doing something all the time, and just find the open door in our minds and our hearts, we can gaze upon things simply. We can also gaze upon the openness, where nothing is needed, where there is space, where there is freedom, where there's no obstruction, where there is no resistance. And this can be in the nature of how we're aware. So assuming a meditation posture, and assuming that your door is already wide open. Really assuming that's the case, no matter what is happening, it's just seen in the vista through that open door. Whatever thoughts, agitations you have, whatever reaction you have to my words, whatever tension you have in your body, nothing needs to be different for now. For a few moments here, nothing needs to be different. Except imagining you're seeing it through an open door, a clean open door. And everything is allowed to be itself. And the gift that we give when we look out the open door in the natural setting, it is a kind of gift to let each thing in the natural world be itself. Not to appropriate it or do it or improve it. Just be the natural world be. So yourself at this moment. Whatever is happening, let it just be. Whether it's comfortable or uncomfortable, something you desire or don't desire. It's just the view through the open door of the mind. Any attempts to do something can be just seen through the open door that doesn't need anything to happen. You can just marvel and see the attempts to do something or to get away from something, fix something, judge something. It's just part of the natural setting that is seen through the open door. The door is always open. It helps to remember that we're seeing through it unto all things. And as we come to the end of this sitting, imagine you're sitting in a easy chair, relaxed at ease, gazing out upon through an open door, out into a natural setting, and how it is to be at ease, nothing to do, calm, settled. And if you don't feel that way now, you might adjust your posture so you'll be more comfortable for these last few minutes. And imagine again you're sitting quietly, peacefully, gazing upon a natural setting. And then you turn that gaze inward, as if you're looking within at the natural setting within you. Of looking inward into the depths of your hearts, into a place within where you recognize your ability to be friendly, whether that's through thoughts, feelings, intentions, through a warmth or an inspiration, friendliness, gazing upon all things in a friendly way. And looking upon yourself in a friendly way, being your own friend. And looking out into the world, to be a friend to the world. Not an enemy to anything, but a friend. And as a friend, as an expression of friendship, to have well-wishing for this world. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. And may all beings be free, so they can know an open door for their life. Thank you. So coming this last week on the Satipatthana Sutta, the discourse on the foundations for awareness, for establishing awareness. So I want to tell you a little bit about this text. It's kind of cliff notes. It doesn't go into great explication of what's really being taught. It's more like brief statements, and then down through the centuries, teachers have then expanded on it and clarified it for people, used it as a basis for giving instructions. And those the instructions, the understanding, have changed over time, or the text is amenable to many different ways of understanding and interpreting. And maybe that's one of the reasons why it's remained so popular, is that it's, it is more notes where the meat of it comes forth in the teachings that are received about it. When I was in the first many years that I studied this text and enjoyed it, what I the lens or the interpretation that I used to understand it had a lot to do with the very common verb expressed in the text, which is repeated in many places in the different exercise, is to understand or to know. Pajanati, to know. And there's so many of the instructions were to know something, not to fix it, not to be concerned with attaining anything or getting anywhere. It was not about judging anything or having commentary about things, but just to know the simplicity of it. And I came to appreciate how powerful it is to just be present for something, to know it, to be aware of it, giving it the gift of allowing everything to be itself. Rather than we are becoming free, maybe you'll never be free. What we do, though, is that we give freedom to everything else. And everything receives our freedom from us, including our inner life. So much so that maybe there's no sense of talking about a self doing it. So everything is given its freedom to be itself. And so I found it so freeing and so satisfying to have this very clear present moment awareness that was just abiding in the present, allowing things to be as they are. It was very freeing. Very nice. Then as time went along, I came to appreciate more and more a different aspect of the Satipatthana Sutta. And that is that I understood it now as describing a journey. And it begins by saying there is nowadays it's popular to say at the beginning is there is a direct path for the purification of beings, for liberation. And another way of understanding the word direct here, it literally means the word one, is in the early, the first English translators did it as there's one way. And that it was a little bit jarring for many of us, just there's only one way, and then became the direct way. But I think that nowadays I'm interpreting it more and think it's very likely what it originally meant, the word one here, it meant unified. There's a unified way. And all these parts of ourselves get unified. All these practices, all these four foundations get unified and work together. But they work together in part as a journey, as a path that unfolds over time. And there's a number of things in the sutta that for me suggest a path that we follow. And one of them is that just the idea of going from body to the feeling tones to mind states to the inner activities of the mind, the dhammas, is it goes from the goes kind of from the outside into the depths of who we are, into the deeper areas only we can see. So with the body, that's, you can see each other's bodies. We can see our body, other people. We can see people's bodies externally, and a lot of it has to do with things that we feel and sense, maybe a little bit more in our physicality. Feeling tone, and that's the way the ancient world talks about it. It's the physical aspect. The other three foundations are often seen as a part of the inner mental world. So the feeling tone is something a little bit deeper. It's like how the world has impacted us, and in a way of that it's pleasant or unpleasant, or is welcoming or not welcoming. It has a little deeper, kind of the deeper consequence in ourselves for feeling something. We're not neutral. It has a kind of effect on us. More deeply, it's the state of our heart, the state of our chitta, our mind, that is maybe more intimate, more personal than just what happens in our body. And then more deeply, it becomes the operating system, the operating activity of the mind that is really the linchpin for everything else, and how we relate to everything, and how we live in this world, and the choices we make. And so that going from the body, feelings, mind states to Dhammas is this journey. I like to think of it as a journey home, coming deeper and deeper into ourselves, to the place where we can make a difference, or the practice can really make a difference to transform something very deeply. And the transformation in this fourth foundation is represented by the transformation from the being caught in the five hindrances to being having awakened the seven factors of awakening. And one of them leads to, they say, to darkness. The other leads to light. One leads to obscuring wisdom. The other to revealing wisdom. So this journey, and the other place where the journey is manifested is in the refrain we talked about many weeks ago. Each of the 13 exercises has a refrain. It's the same refrain, and it begins by kind of, once we're settled and the awareness is strong, then there's an ability to kind of be 360 degrees aware within ourselves, outside of ourselves, internally and externally. And then as we settle further, then they're starting to see the changing nature of phenomena. And we see things arise. And then as we also see things cease. And then we see things arising and ceasing together. It's a kind of a journey to deeper and deeper stillness until the rising and ceasing happens together. And then we go deeper still, and there's a deep kind of equanimity of just a clarity of mind, just a clear awareness, lucid awareness, and just enough knowledge to know what's happening in the moment in the most simple possible ways. It's a mind that's very equanimous, very peaceful, very at ease, where then at some point, because of that ease, there's no more effort to protect ourselves or build ourselves up or try to have something or to be anyone. And something deep in our psyche can release, that the tradition refers to as clinging, and clinging to nothing whatsoever in the world. So it's a journey of awareness that we do. So on one hand, in the early years I thought of it, there's no journey, just being present for what is. And then later I came to appreciate that it describes a journey. And then I came to appreciate how these work together. That as we practice just being present for things as they are, giving each thing the freedom to be its own thing, not trying to manipulate anything or change anything, just to see it and see this. Just that, and not needing anything to change, that brings about change. And one of the ways it brings about change is that we're actually no longer doing the common human thing of always instigating the change, always trying to fix and maneuver and get and understand and figure out or analyze or plan. The whole domain of human activities comes to a rest when all we do is be present, not trying to do anything. Not doing anything is a radical thing. And it's kind of like this house of cards has been built, and we're holding it in place, running around keeping all the cards in place. When we stop doing that, everything settles and the cards come to rest on the table. And the house of cards that we built is often one that's not needed, or we don't need it all the time. And to be always shoring it up and building it up is exhausting. And so the very practice of being present for things as they are without needing to change anything, just appreciating that, begins a process of change. It puts us on a path of maturing in this practice. And you almost can't avoid maturing in this practice if your practice of mindfulness, of attention, is sincere. And if you're practicing with certain thoroughness, or certain wholeheartedness, or a certain kind of persistence, like this is what you're doing. And so day by day, week by week, month by month, the practice of mindfulness, just being here, practicing meditation every day, something settles. Just being present for what is. The advantage of having the sense of a path is that it's a little bit encouraging to kind of give ourselves to the practice more fully, to know that it's leading to a good place. The disadvantage is that people will huff and puff and strain and expect and be discouraged because they're not going the way they want. The advantage of just being present for things as they are, and just not just being aware of them in a simple way, is that it's very freeing and relaxing. The disadvantage sometimes is that people don't have a sense of how far this practice can go, how radical a transformation it can bring about in us. And so they shortchange themselves. They don't kind of let their inner system go through the open door. They don't let there's something inside that is held in check or not really allowed to kind of let go and move and flow, because that maybe can happen easier if we know there's an open path to walk, open door to walk through. So there's different ways of kind of interpretations for understanding this text, and many more than what I said. But for me, this has been very important, this distinction between, the distinction and then the harmony between these two very different modes of practicing Satipatthana. One is just being present for things as they are, and that's it. And the other is being present with the orientation towards a path of practice that we're developing. And because it's a unified path, we include everything. Everything that comes together into this open space of awareness practice. So thank you very much. And we'll continue with a summary or conclusion for this text for the rest of the week. Thank you.